Okay, so yesterday we posted my punk rock collection. Today we're going to go into ska collection. And the ska collection's a little bit broader because it includes, there may be some trad ska in here, but there's definitely some two-tone and there's a lot of ska punk because that's really where I live the most. And I will say also, as far as ska goes, if you followed the Rudie Librarian, you may be aware that like I really only knew about 3 ska bands. I knew Five Iron Frenzy, the OC Supertones, and the Insiders. Those were the ska bands I grew up with. Maybe we could throw in Squad 5-0 and the Dingies in there. But once I watched the Pick It Up Ska in the 90s podcast and I started the Rudie Librarian, which were pretty close at the same time, not too far from the same time, I just was welcomed by so many great people in the ska community, and they introduced me to a ton of great ska music. And since then, this collection's grown so much that it's actually bigger than my punk collection, which is kind of crazy. So, all right, so let's get started. The first one that I've got is Abracadabra, Make Yourself at Home. This is their, not their most recent release, but the release before that. I really would love to get their most recent release. Absolutely love this band from Curitiba, Brazil. Interviewed them on my podcast. This is yellow translucent vinyl. So loving that. Then we go into the Aquabats. The Fury of the Aquabats. First album I've got here. This is a yellow opaque vinyl. And this is a double LP? I think this is a double LP, yes. Hard to tell sometimes. This is a double LP gatefold. Love this. The Aquabats are a lot of fun. I have not seen them live, and I really hope to see them live at some point because their shows seem like they're awesome. Also have the Aquabats Kooky Spooky in stereo. This is just on black vinyl, but this is a fun kind of spooky themed one, great for around Halloween. I don't know why I did that little dance, but you got it, so congratulations to you. And then after that, we have the Aquabats' newest album, Finally, which is on like an orange kind of splatter vinyl. It's orange with like a darker orange kind of splattered in there. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't listened to this album as much as I'd like to. I've probably only spun it once since I picked it up. So I really need to listen to this album a bit more. But you can't go wrong with the Aquabats, in my opinion. Then we've got Backyard Superheroes. My buddy Gary, his band Backyard Superheroes, their album Mass Hysteria on orange vinyl. This is, in my opinion, the best album they've put out. I love their music. And of course, Gary's like one of my best friends in the ska scene, great friend in real life. Even though we've only met once, I'm looking forward to hanging out with him again here soon. So, Backyard Superheroes. We've got Bite Me Bambi. Now, Bite Me Bambi, this is, they were putting out individual tracks and then sort of collected them onto an LP. This is their first LP on red opaque vinyl. I thought that they were like sold out, and I just reached out through Instagram message, and I was like, is there any chance you have any left? And they were kind enough to sell me one, even though it showed sold out on their website. So that was a real lucky break for me. And then their next album, which is, where's the title of this? I forget what the title of this album is. Eat This. I think that's the whole, is that the whole name, Eat This? I forget. I'm not great with album titles, but so this is again like kind of a bunch of tracks that they released. Oh yeah, says it, this is how bad my vision is. It says it in huge pink letters. Did you notice that? Because I didn't notice that. I was like looking for the title. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's pink with black splatter. Bunch of individual tracks that they put out, and again, a lot of fun. And got to see them live in Dallas, and it was such a blessing. Got to talk to Talina for just a second before I had to rush off. All right, Bruce Lee Band, Division in the Heartland. I think this is just black. Sometimes the light hits things differently, and you're like, wait, is that blue? It's black. Black vinyl. Love Bruce Lee Band. Love Asian Man Records. Love Mike Park. Was super thrilled to be able to get this. And this is a great album, man. Let's see here. Next we've got Bumsy and the Moochers, Diet Violence. Really good album that you may not know, but that I really love. This is a red opaque vinyl. And yeah, it's a great one there. Have not had the privilege of talking to that band yet. We've got Call Me Malcolm. Also interviewed these guys for the podcast. So far, I've interviewed Backyard Superheroes. I've interviewed Bite Me Band. A lot of these bands I've interviewed. So really encourage you guys to go and check out the podcast. Check out the YouTube channel. That's where you can find a lot of that stuff. But Call Me Malcolm, fantastic ska band from England. Got the opportunity to interview them. One of the most fun. Definitely, I think it was the longest episode I've recorded because we were just having so much fun. But we've got this great blue vinyl with kind of like a red and white splatter on there. So love that. And this was one of my favorite albums the year it came out. So really good. Let's see here. We've got Catbite. Everybody loves Catbite. You don't have to sell Catbite to people. So this is Catbite's self-titled album, their first album on black vinyl. Then we've got Catbite's second album, which this is, again, what is the name of the album? I wish I was better at remembering the names of albums. It's like Nice One. That's what it is, Nice One. I could remember the story that it's what like their producer was saying, their engineer or whatever was saying as they were recording when they had a good take. It was Nice One, and that's how they titled it. So yeah, Nice One, another great album. This one's on white with a orange and kind of bluish green splatter. Really matches the cover well. So love that one. Then we've got, sticking together there. We've got Mike Park and Catbite, Wavebreaker number 2. The Wavebreaker series is a series of albums that Bad Time Records puts out. And it's, often bands covering each other's music. And sometimes it's just individual tracks. But how could you go wrong with Mike Park and Catbite? That's a great collaboration, compilation, whatever you want to call it. And then we've got Catbite's newest album, Doom Garden, which is an EP on this really great sort of split pinwheel. I don't know what you want to call that design, but it's a fun one. So then, still going, we've got Eichlers. And the name of this album is, I don't think I can read this one. It is, my vision is not good enough to read this one. Better, I don't know. I forget the name of the album, but it is a great album. And I'm going to say, like, Eichlers at first listen was not really for me. It just wasn't my taste. And then I went and saw him live, and to see the crazy things that he does to make his music live and how fun the show was and how collaborative the show was, he really sold me. And I think I picked up 2 albums that day. One was a Christmas album by 2:30. And then the other one was this. And so I'm so glad that I have that in the collection now. Next, we've got Fishbone. Now, this is an EP, and I believe, let me see if I can see right the track titles. All We Have Is Now, I Don't Care, but the main reason I picked this up, track 3, Estranged Fruit, Fishbone with No Effects. That track is insane. It's so good. I highly recommend you pick it up. And unfortunately, that's the only Fishbone I have in the collection right now, but I'm really glad to have it. Flying Raccoon Suit, Afterglow. Flying Raccoon Suit is one of the only ska bands that I've had really close relationship with. I've interviewed on the podcast, I think maybe more than once, and I have never gotten to see them yet. Even though they've played in Dallas-Fort Worth a few times. So I'm hoping this is the year that I finally get to see Flying Raccoon Suit. And this is my variant of it that matches the album well. And yes. Then we have Flying Raccoon Suit, Moonflower. And this is like a really beautiful kind of blue color that matches the album very well. So Flying Raccoon Suit is phenomenal. They're so good. And they're one of those bands that I feel like each album just gets better and better. And I cannot wait to see them. Yeah. So, all right. The records are falling in on me. Let's see here. We've got the Free Coasters. Okay, this album, A Different Kind of Heat. So I bought this album on one of those like sales that Jump Up Records does. I had heard like a track from this album and I really liked it. And I'm so glad I bought this album. It's such a good vibe. Like, this is the kind of ska that like my wife, who's not really into ska, would really enjoy me putting on and listening to. It's just good vibey record. So it's on pink, and all the records fell over. And then we got Goldfinger the Knife. Now, Goldfinger is one of those bands like Green Day. Every single album, people will either love it or hate it. And for me, the 3 albums of Goldfinger that I have are probably the 3 that are the most controversial about whether they're good or not. But I love them all. I think they're really good. And I really love this one and the next one. So this one is The Knife. It's on a split, orange and white with splatter. Great album. Now, this is also I think this is the album that Mike Herrera started playing bass on with them permanently. And Mike Herrera, the lead singer and bass player from MXPX, my all-time favorite band. So that's another great reason to love them. Here's Goldfinger Never Look Back on pink with splatter vinyl. I love this album. I really do. There's some great songs on here. So, and Goldfinger's newest album, 9 Lives, which I recently talked about in my January record haul video on an orange vinyl. So great album as well. Next we've got Half Past Due. This is Camp Slush Tone. I'm trying to remember if this is the one that's on like a double, it's like 2 EPs. Yeah, so one side of this is Camp Slush Tone. The other side is Mastering Karate. This is 2 EPs by Half Past Due. Honestly, this is not the first thing I picked up by them. I picked up other stuff, but then I was like, I love them so much, I need to have everything that they've got. Give me everything you got. So I picked it up. Oh, this is just not going well over here. They're just not wanting to stay put. Okay, we're doing all right. Half Past Two. This is the self-titled album. This one was on... It was Pay Attention Records that put this out, which was a short-lived imprint on Jump Up Records, and it was run by Ska Punk Daily. They put out maybe a half a dozen records, if that, and they were all great, but it just didn't continue. This is on a blue opaque vinyl. Half Past Two, Talk Is Killing Me, their Bad Time Records debut, their newest full-length album. Insane. I really loved the album before this on Pay Attention Records, but one of their complaints about it was that it wasn't cohesive as an album. It was kind of like they recorded a bunch of different tracks and they just kind of put them together. This is a cohesive album that kind of all goes together. And this is produced by the lead singer of We Are the Union, which is another band that I love. We're going to see their album come up later. So Talk Is Killing Me, beautiful splatter as well. If that's what you'd call that, but beautiful record. And Half Past Two, supposedly recording a new album soon. Can't wait to get it. Hans Gruber and the Diehards here with a vengeance. This is just black vinyl, but if you love like more of a like hardcore ska band that's willing to be a little bit more aggressive, and if you love Texas, you gotta love Hans Gruber and the Diehards. Plus, these guys get crazy in shows. You'll see them running around in their underwear. There's a part with puppets. It's just it's a show that you won't forget for sure. I have not seen them live yet. I've just seen clips. So then we've got Hey Smith, outstanding Japanese ska band. Picked this up from Asian Man Records. And this is Life in the Sun. I think I picked this up from Asian Man Records. I'm pretty sure. Life in the Sun. This is a purple vinyl. Yeah. You don't see purple super often, so it's kind of fun. Hey Smith is so good. If you've never heard them, you should definitely hear them. The Hippos. This is an album that for a while, I was talking to some of my friends that run companies that press records, and they were like, it's never going to get pressed. It's an album that like the guys in the Hippos don't really care to get pressed because they've moved on with their lives. You're never going to see it get pressed. And then I was the first in my group to see that it was getting pressed, and I was like texting everyone, guys, it's getting pressed. We got to get it. So the Hippos heads are going to roll. This one's on a split blue and white. Love this album. So good. And I'm so glad that my friends were wrong so I could get it. Then we have The Inevitables. If you don't know anything about The Inevitables, great band. Comic book goes with it. This is like a supergroup, ska supergroup filled with amazing people. And every track on here is a banger. Really great album. Then we have, getting close to the end of this first cube, we've got The Interrupters. This is their self-titled. The Interrupters, probably one of the most well-known ska bands in the scene, outside of the scene. Like, people outside of the scene know and love The Interrupters. They opened the Hella Mega Tour with Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day. Great band. And also, new album coming out this year. This is the Interrupters section. So this album is called Say It Out Loud. This is on like a translucent kind of greenish blue. And we have, what is the name of this? Fight the Good Fight on like a translucent, I think this is just translucent. Yeah, translucent clear vinyl. So that is the end of the Interrupters. Going into our second cube of ska music here, we've got the Joker's Republic. Not the Joker's Republic, just Joker's Republic. Necessary Evil is the name of this album. And this album, holy cow, man. These guys are so talented. This is also kind of a, I think it's a purple, might be kind of a brownish. It's hard to tell in this light, but it's got some splatter in there. These guys are insanely talented, and they don't get enough love. They're starting to get the attention that they deserve. Highly recommend you check out Joker's Republic. Let's see here. We've got Joystick, I Can't Take It Anymore. This is such a good album. This was co-released by Jump Up Records and Bad Time Records. It's like a fuchsia, I don't know what color to call this either, vinyl. This is the last full-length album by Joystick. There is an EP after this that I'll show you in just a second. And I love Joystick so much, out of New Orleans. Duck is such a great guy. Hoping to see some more Joystick music soon. This is their, hold on, you've seen that one. I put that in the wrong place. Here we go. This is their last EP, which is called Dwell. Also really good. 4 good tracks on here, I believe, and every one of them was amazing. I was a little sad it was just an EP because I just want all the Joystick music is what I want. Kill Lincoln. Good riddance to good advice. So Kill Lincoln, great band, loved some tracks by them, but then I saw them live with We Are the Union and the Slackers, and holy cow, these guys are so awesome live. It's one of the best live shows I've been to, and they blew it away. They were all over the place, and so yeah, so this is like a yellow vinyl. This is actually the first Kill Lincoln album I purchased, called Can't Complain. Also really good white vinyl with like a blue and red splatter on there. And if you don't know Kill Lincoln, Mike, the lead singer, one of the singers of Kill Lincoln, is also the head of Bad Time Records. So Less Than Jake, Silver Linings. Now, fantastic album, beautiful pressing. Less Than Jake, one of the more well-known ska bands. The really sad thing is this is the only album I have by them right now. So that's something I hope to fix this year. All right, we've got Long Beach Dub All-Stars. Not exactly ska, but ska adjacent, so they're in my ska section. This is a fantastic album on yellow vinyl. We've got Chaos Magic by Mega Infinity on white opaque vinyl. A very different sound for ska and something I really enjoy, and she's a really sweet, sweet person. My only Mighty Mighty Boss Tones album right now, which is When God Was Great. Controversial album. I think maybe, well, we'll just leave it at that. It's a controversial album. Great ska band from Boston, pressed on red vinyl. They are currently broken up because of the lead singer's views during COVID. It's a sad thing, I think, because they were a band that really impacted a lot of people. Still love their music and wish they were still playing. Okay, Millie Manders and the Shut Up. This is a band from England. Ska adjacent, like some tracks have some ska on them, some don't. This album I really love. It's autographed. It's on red vinyl. This is one of the bands I really loved when I first started listening to new ska. And They weren't quite that, but they had some. All right, so here we have Millington Beatdown Generation, and then the other side is, I think, the self-titled EP on this really beautiful kind of seafoam green. Gotta love Millington, some brass emo. We've also got Welcome Home by Millington on this blue with sort of like red splatter. I absolutely love them. Also have had them on the podcast. Just fantastic people and a wonderful band. We've got Mr. Kingpin, introducing Mr. Kingpin. Really, really great album. This is kind of like the Free Coasters. This has a little bit more of a traditional kind of vibe to it. Great, maybe some... I'm not the guy who's going to be able to tell you, oh, this is dub, this is whatever, blah, blah. I'm not great at all that. I just like music, and this fits in the ska scene to me, even though it's more traditional vibe for sure. Beautiful, beautiful album. Highly recommend it. We've got Mustard Plug. This was a gift from Gary, which is very nice, on silver vinyl. I can't remember if this was birthday or Christmas, but I got this. I unexpected it in the mail, and what a gift. One of the best Mustard Plug albums of all time. And the only other Mustard Plug album I have is their most recent release from Bad Time Records, which is Where Did All My Friends Go? And black and white pinwheel, or black and yellow pinwheel pressing. Really great album. Then we've got Mutiny. I was lucky enough to be there in the room while these guys were making some final choices on their album before it came out. And this is a great, very aggressive, hard album. One side in English, one side in Japanese. There's a manga that goes with it. The color of the vinyl is like a, if I can get it out, it's like kind of a reddish, like a deep red. Great album. They've had another release since then. I don't have it yet. We've got MU330, Crab Rangoon. Again, one of the most well-known albums by them. I ordered this from Asian Man Records, and this is, I'm realizing at the moment that I haven't re-sleeved the vinyl behind it. I need to fix that. But they're from St. Louis, which is where my mom's family's from, so I feel an extra affinity. So, getting closer here, we've got No Doubt. This is their first album on black vinyl, back when they were definitely a ska band. We've got No Doubt, the Beacon Street Collection on yellow vinyl. So again, early No Doubt. We've got Tragic Kingdom, the album that changed it all, black vinyl. Gotta love it, gotta love it. We've got Return of Saturn, double black vinyl, gatefold. I listened to a lot of Tragic Kingdom and Return of Saturn back in the day, so I really love both of those albums. Then we've got the singles. This is a Target exclusive, double LP silver vinyl. And that is the last No Doubt album I have right now, but it's got a lot of great tracks on it. We got the Adventures of the OC Supertones, an album, again, we never thought would get pressed. The original recording was not great quality. It's a beautiful pressing done by Unoriginal Vinyl, and so glad to have this. This is one of the albums that maybe had the biggest impact on me as far as me personally getting into ska. Like I said, it was one of these bands. And you know what? I'm realizing now, I'm going to be out of order, but I skipped over Five Iron Frenzy, so I'm going to have to do them last. So, because I don't have them in my cubes, I have the box set. All right, so Adventures of the OC Supertone was the last one. This is Supertone Strikes Back on red vinyl. Got this from SML XL Vinyl. And again, these two OC Supertones albums are the two I listen to the most, the two that were very essential in my ska upbringing. We've got the Planet Smashers. Picked this up from Jump Up Records. Too Much Information, white opaque vinyl. Glad to have this fantastic Canadian ska band in the collection. We've got, this is such a great band. So this album's called Treats, and the name of the band, I'm blanking on it for just a second. Shoot, what are they called? I really love, Poindexter. So this band put out an album, and basically, like, as soon as I heard about them, they were basically already broken up. But it's such a great album, such a unique sound. So I highly recommend you listen to this. don't know that you can get the vinyl anymore, but what a great, great, great album. Then we got, again, kind of sad, my only Real Big Fish album besides their Christmas album, which Gary gifted me with. But it's the Real Big Fish Life Sucks, Let's Dance. The last full-length album they put out. I'm hoping to rectify, get some earlier Real Big Fish this year. We've got Ska Dream by Jeff Rosenstock on white opaque vinyl. This is an album that, it feels like it broke the ska scene when it came out. Like everybody was going crazy for it. We've got Runaway Ricochet, Diminishing Returns, one of my favorite albums from last year. Or not last year, was it 2 years ago maybe? It was January or something. But this beautiful purple vinyl. I think this came out, I saw them live in January last year, but it came out the year before. So it was one of my favorite albums the year before that. Okay, we've got Simple Minded Symphony on black vinyl. I think this is self-titled. If it's not, I can't read the title. And it's not. There is a title here, but I can't read it. But it's a great album. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. Okay. We've got Sing Along with Skank and Pickle. Definitely picked this up from Asian Man Records. This is a split on white and like a soft green. And this is a classic. A lot of bands will tell you that one of the bands that got them into ska was Skank and Pickle. So happy to have that one in the collection. We've got the Skents. Oh my gosh, I love the Skents. Ordered this one from England. Got it on blue vinyl. This is another one that my wife would really enjoy. It's got some trad vibes in it. It's got a lot of mix of like reggae and dub. We've got the Slackers live at Ernesto's. It's on like a grayish white vinyl. Got to see the Slackers live. They're fantastic. Ska Against Racism. Okay, so now we're going to get into the compilation section. And let me just... Oh, that got out of order. Hold on. Hold your horses. One of them's out of order. Maybe a couple are out of order, because I don't think I talked about that yet. Or that. Or that. There's a bunch out of order. It's all right. Hang with me. We're going to get there. That's where we are. Okay. So we're going to come back to that. Let's talk about this. Another Slackers album. I was thinking I had more than one Slackers album. So this is Don't Let the Sunlight Fool Me on this beautiful like sunset vinyl. And that was the album that came out about the time I saw them. We've got Stuck Lucky, Counting Curses. Again, trying to remember these album titles sometimes. This is like a dark smoky vinyl. Really great album. We've got Toasters, Two-Tone Army. Got this from Jump Up Records. This is a classic on this is all different colors, but definitely a classic there. We've got Voodoo Glow Skulls. Saw them live. They were insane live. Got this beautiful pressing of Live in the Apocalypse. We've got We Are the Union. This is an album that was my favorite album the year it came out, along with Five Iron Frenzy. This is Ordinary Life on this beautiful pink vinyl with some splatter. Almost there. I love these videos, but they go on for so long, and so I'm trying to make it go as quickly as I can. So we've got Ska Against Racism, a benefit for racial equality. Wow, I struggled through that. So when I was in high school, the first Ska Against Racism tour happened, and then this album came out. I had to have a copy of it because it meant so much to me. So beautiful album. Very lucky to have that as well. Recently, on a Whatnot auction, I picked up This Is New Tone on this beautiful green vinyl. Really great collection of Bad Time albums, Bad Time artists from the Bad Time tour. We've got Too Hectic. This is one of the copies, one of the albums that Pay Attention Records did. And this is a collection of bands from California specifically on this sort of purple vinyl. A lot of great bands on here. A lot of bands I hadn't heard of and a lot of bands I had. So it's always fun to kind of get to see new bands. And then we have Too Hectic, Ska Punk Goes International on this sort of orangish red vinyl. Another great compilation, double LP, but this one is all bands from outside the U.S. And I think we're getting real close here. Yeah, we got one more, and then we've got the box set. So we've got Pick It Up, Ska in the 90s, the soundtrack on black vinyl, done by unoriginal vinyl. There's much better looking variants than this, but I'm so glad I got one because it was pretty much sold out when I picked it up. So that takes us through the regular albums. We're going to pause real quick, and then we're going to pick... Okay, so I've filmed this before, and in the process of filming this part, my camera died. But I got all the way through the whole Ska collection and realized that I left off what should have been somewhere in the Fs, because I left off my 5 Iron Frenzy box set. And this was also a product of Unoriginal Vinyl. I talked about one of their box sets in the last video, the punk video. This is the 5 Iron Frenzy box set. It's made to look like a dumpster. Every sticker on here, you get to individually place it like kind of wherever you want to place it, but they all have a significance to the history of the band, which is really cool. And then when you open it up, it looks like the dumpster's on fire, which is super appropriate if you know 5 Iron Frenzy, super appropriate for this style. So, another cool thing about this box set, unlike any box set I've ever seen, is that this box set was designed for you to be able to include records you already had of 5 Iron Frenzy. So even though you could buy all the records at one time, they also had it set where you could buy just the ones you were missing. So people like me who already had a good chunk of my 5 Iron Frenzy collection didn't have to rebuy things, which was very generous. Now, when you bought the individual ones that you didn't have, you couldn't get the pressing that came with the box set, which was a really beautiful pressing. But that's okay, because you didn't have to spend all the extra, and you just bought the box and the individual records that you needed. So let's get started. Some of these I already had, like for instance, Upbeats and Beatdowns. This is from SML XL vinyl. It's on blue vinyl. This is their first album. Outstanding album. 5 Iron Frenzy being, you know, especially at the time, a Christian ska band, started off their first album with a song about the genocide of Native Americans at the hands of Christians, which was a pretty bold move to do, you know. So the next album, so the second record is our newest album ever, second full-length album by 5 Iron Frenzy. It was the album that I was most eager to get in the box set, so I did purchase this through the box set. These albums were on sort of a random eco vinyl. But they did come out looking pretty cool. I don't know if you can really fully see that there. But this is an outstanding album. It's got Sucker Punch. It's got Superpowers. These are songs that I loved. So very glad to have that on vinyl. The third album, also one that I got for the box set, and this is maybe the one I was the most excited about. This is the first full-length live album that 5 Iron Frenzy put out, called Proof That the Youth Are Revolting. When I had this album on CD, I listened to this album constantly. I have vivid memories of walking, listening to this on my CD player, my Discman. This one came out on this like very kind of goldish, but there is sort of a swirl in there as well. This has some fun antics on stage. This was recorded live at Cornerstone, which is a big Christian rock festival that existed back in the day. Really, really glad to have this on vinyl. Quantity is Job 1. This is one that I've bought from SML XL vinyl. This is an EP. It's got some really great songs. Some of my favorite songs are on this EP. It's just black vinyl. Yeah, so I was really glad to have this. Had that one for a while. All the Hype That Money Can Buy. Black vinyl, also a great album. I will say I listened to this probably a little less than the previous albums, the albums before this, but I still enjoyed it. And so it's good to revisit it. And I do find when I re-listen to it, I'm like, oh man, it's better than I remembered it being, you know? But it's just these albums were all so ingrained in me back in the day. So we've got that one. We've got Electric Boogaloo, 5 Iron Frenzy 2 Electric Boogaloo. This is also SML XL vinyl, black vinyl. So a great one. This one, I think I got this before the box set. I forget. But this one is called Engine of a Million Plots. This is one that I was not really listening to 5 Iron Frenzy when they put this out. And then when I finally heard it, which was like after time, it wasn't like I wasn't listening to them because I didn't like them. I just get a little musical ADHD. And so when I did finally listen to it, I was like, this is a great album. I just didn't know it existed. But I've had it since before the box set. This is another one I got from the box set. The End Is Here, or The End Is Near. This was their last full length on sort of a grayish eco vinyl. So very glad to have this one. Again, one I didn't really listen to a lot. I didn't even know that they were breaking up until my friend went to their last concert. So then I picked it up and I listened to it. But this wasn't one that I put on all the time. I would typically go back to some of those earlier albums. So this is one that I picked up again before the box set, Between the Pavement and the Stars. I don't remember where I got this album, but it is beautiful. Maybe I did buy this at the same time that I bought the box set. I don't remember, but I think it was a separate purchase from the box set. But yeah, love that. And then I'm not going to take this one out, although this is my favorite full-length album by Five Iron Frenzy. If I could open this up, it's a really beautiful package for you, but it's an involved package. It's got like a little slip case and all that. It's got this beautiful vinyl. This was not part of the box set, but I bought this. I don't know I think maybe after the box set or before. I don't know, but this is one of my favorite albums of all time. One of my favorite ska albums of all time. One of my favorite Five Iron Frenzy albums of all time. You have to listen to this. This came out around the time of like the George Floyd murder and like all the outcry from that, and you could just feel the sort of political unrest in this album. It's their most serious album that they've ever put out, but it is phenomenal. This is the last thing that I bought as part of the box set, and that is It's Creative but Not Very Funny. So this is a lot of like the B-sides and things that showed up on sort of those kind of albums. Again, eco vinyl. And I haven't actually listened to this very much, so I need to actually spin this. I listen to every record I buy at least once, but I haven't really listened to this since then. I am in the process right now of kind of re-listening to all of my punk collection, and then after that's going to be all of my ska collection, kind of one album at a time. So I'm looking forward to getting to this. And then included also in the box set was this sort of liner notes that came with it, and this is where the stickers came off of. I didn't use every sticker. But so that's a lot of fun, and that is the Five Iron Frenzy box set.